Let me ask you something. Do you know what the coolest planet near the sun really is? It sounds impossible, but the answer is Mercury. Mercury is the smallest planet in our solar system, much smaller than Earth, smaller than all the gas giants, even smaller than some moons. And yet, it lives closer to the sun than any other planet. Tiny in size, extreme in location. During the day, Mercury becomes scorching hot, hot enough to melt metal. But at night, with almost no atmosphere to hold heat, it becomes bitterly cold. One of the coldest places in the solar system, right next to the sun. Mercury is often ignored, overlooked, dismissed. But today, we're going to slow down, because Mercury holds secrets that reshaped planetary science and challenged our understanding of the universe. So today, we're going to explore 8 facts your astrophysics teacher never taught you. And if you're new to AstroNerd, hit the subscribe button and join us on this journey of curiosity. Let's begin. Fact number 1. Mercury has ice. Yes, ice. On the planet closest to the sun. Now, that sounds impossible. So let's imagine something familiar. Picture a very tall mountain on Earth. The sun shines brightly on one side of the mountain. That side becomes warm, even hot. But the other side, the side in shadow, never sees the sun. That shadow stays cool, sometimes cold, even when the sun is blazing nearby. The heat doesn't magically bend around the mountain. Now, let's take that idea and move it to Mercury. Mercury has deep craters near its poles, very deep, with tall walls. Some of these craters are shaped in a way that sunlight never reaches the bottom. Not in the morning, not at noon, not ever. They are permanently shadowed. And here's the key idea. Mercury has almost no atmosphere, no air to move heat around, no wind, no clouds, no blanket to carry warmth into the shadows. So when sunlight misses a crater, that place stays cold. Very cold. Cold enough for water ice to survive for billions of years, even on a planet this close to the sun. Mercury teaches us something important here. Heat is not just about distance, it's about exposure. And sometimes, the coldest places exist right next to the fire. Fact number 2. Mercury has almost no atmosphere. To understand why that matters, let's start with something familiar. On Earth, we are surrounded by air. We don't see it, but we live inside it. That air is our atmosphere. Some planets have thick atmospheres, like Venus. Some have thinner ones, like Mars. Others have tiny atmospheres, barely hanging on. Mercury has almost nothing. Think about sound for a moment. When you speak, your voice travels as waves. Those waves move through air. No air, no sound. Now replace sound waves with heat and light. Heat and light also travel as waves. And when they pass through an atmosphere, something important happens. The particles in the air scatter the waves. They absorb some of them. They spread the energy around. The atmosphere softens the extremes. That's why Earth doesn't burn during the day or freeze solid at night. Now come back to Mercury. There are almost no particles there. nothing to scatter heat, nothing to trap it, nothing to slow it down. So when the sun shines on Mercury, the surface heats up fast, very fast, hotter than most other planets. But when the sun sets, the heat escapes just as quickly, straight back into space. That's why Mercury experiences some of the hottest days and the coldest nights in the solar system. Not because it's close to the sun alone, but because it has no atmosphere to protect it. Mercury isn't extreme by choice, it's extreme by exposure. Fact number 3. Mercury is the smallest planet in our solar system. If you stood on its surface, the sun would not look like it does from Earth. It would look at least 3 times bigger. And not just bigger, about 7 times brighter than what we see from Earth. The sky on Mercury is not gentle. Now let's talk about Mercury itself. Even though Mercury is small, it is surprisingly heavy. That's because most of Mercury is made of iron. At its center, Mercury has a massive iron core. Around that core is a rocky mantle, and on the outside, a solid crust. This structure makes Mercury the second densest planet in the solar system, second only to Earth. Small, yet packed tightly. And the story doesn't end there. Scientists have found evidence that Mercury's core is not completely solid. Parts of it may still be molten or even liquid. A hot metallic heart inside a tiny world. Mercury may look small from far away, but on the inside, it is powerful, dense, and still alive with heat. Size does not always tell the full story. Fact number 4. Before we talk about Mercury, we need to agree on something simple. A day is not defined by a clock. Because even on Earth, days change length. In winter, days feel shorter. In summer, days feel longer. So what really defines a day? A day is one full rotation of a planet, on its own axis, until it faces the sun the same way again. For Earth, that takes about 24 hours. Now, what about a year? A year is not about time either. A year is a journey. It begins when a planet is at one position in space around the sun, and ends only when it returns to that exact same position. That is a year. Now, let's go to Mercury. On Mercury, something strange happens. Mercury rotates very slowly, but it moves around the sun very fast. 2 forces are competing. One force is gravity, the sun pulling Mercury inward. The other is motion, Mercury trying to move forward in space. This balance keeps Mercury in orbit, but it also affects how Mercury spins. Mercury's rotation is dragged and stretched by the sun's gravity. Over time, this slowed Mercury down. So much so that one full rotation takes longer than one full orbit. Yes, on Mercury, a single day lasts longer than an entire year. Mercury completes a year in about 88 Earth days, but one sunrise to the next takes much longer. The sun rises slowly, hangs in the sky, and sets after a very long wait. Time on Mercury does not behave the way we expect. When gravity and motion compete, even the meaning of a day can be rewritten. Fact number 5. On Earth, Newton works beautifully. His laws explain how apples fall, how moons orbit, how planets move. For centuries, Newton was enough, even for planets. Newton told us that gravity pulls objects together and motion keeps them moving forward. That balance creates orbits. And for most planets, it worked perfectly. Until Mercury. Mercury said, "Wait a minute. No, something is off." Mercury moves very fast, much faster than Earth. Why? Because it is closer to the Sun. Closer means stronger gravity. Stronger gravity means higher speed. Newton's equations almost worked, but not exactly. Mercury's orbit shifted slightly every time it went around the Sun. Just a little, but enough to matter. Newton couldn't explain that final tiny difference. Then came Einstein. Einstein said gravity is not just a force, it is the bending of space and time. Near the Sun, space itself curves more strongly. Mercury wasn't misbehaving, it was obeying a deeper rule. Mercury didn't break physics, it upgraded it. Fact number 6. Earth has one moon. It lights our nights, stabilizes our tilt, calms our oceans. Mercury? Nothing. No moon, no companion, no cosmic nightlight. Mercury doesn't have a real atmosphere, only an exosphere, a whisper of atoms. Mostly helium, knocked off the surface by solar wind. At night, Mercury's sky is pitch black. No moonlight, no clouds, no air. Just silence and cold. The night there isn't peaceful. It's lonely. Fact number 7. Mercury is named after the Roman god Mercury, or Hermes in Greek mythology, the messenger of the gods. Fast, swift, relentless. Son of Zeus and Maya. The name fits. Mercury is the fastest planet in the solar system. But life here is impossible. Temperatures swing violently. Radiation is constant. There is no air to breathe. Even our machines struggle to survive. Spacecraft sent to Mercury don't last long. Not days, sometimes not even hours without protection. Mercury delivers messages, but not life. Fact number 8. Earth has a strong magnetic field. It protects us from solar radiation. Mercury also has one, but it's different. Mercury's magnetic field is offset, shifted away from its equator. And it's weak. Only about 1% as strong as Earth's. That means Mercury is 99% more exposed. Solar wind plasma slams into Mercury's surface, sometimes directly. It even creates magnetic tornadoes, twisting fields, dragging charged particles downward. Mercury has a shield, but it's barely holding. Take a breath. We're not taking you there yet. We're still searching for better worlds, better places. Until then, stay curious and stay with AstroNerd.